So after knowing the dropshipping hassle-free, you might probably like to understand like how universal payment can really help dropshippers. And now we'll welcome Daniel Marsland from Payoneer to explain more to you. Hey, Daniel.
Hi guys, how you doing? Hi guys. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the payment side of things now. From our conversations with dropshippers up to now, payments is of absolute pivotal importance. The reason being is that a lot of providers in the space and a lot of banks and PSPs actually block the payments of dropshippers. It's seen as somewhat of a grey area. So we're going to be discussing today a little bit about how we can help solve the payments problems that I'm sure a lot of you are facing. So let me just pop this up. Cool. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Payoneer for Dropshippers, which is a product line of ours which we've kind of designated towards dropshippers. We see a huge opportunity for the dropshipper market. As I said, the sole reason for that is because a lot of PSPs and banks and other providers commonly have issues with dropshipping. But to give you a bit of a background about Payoneer, Payoneer are the largest marketplace payment specialists in the world. So we focus on a lot of online marketplaces like Amazon, Wish, Jimmy Discount, etc. Both sending payments for the marketplace as well as actually helping merchants receive money as well. So that's where we are, completely the market leader. Some of the biggest names we work with, as I say, with these guys, Airbnb, Fiverr, etc. So any online marketplace, typically we have a really large presence. From building that business up, we realized there was a huge amount of opportunity within the dropshipper space. Obviously, we're working within e-commerce, and yeah, a lot of, I think 33% of Amazon is dropshipper based anyway. Then we realized there was a huge opportunity to help Shopify sellers, to help WooCommerce sellers and dropshippers to actually meet their requirements. Around the world, we've got 23 offices around the world. But this gives an example of the kind of the end-to-end solution we provide on the geographical level. So an absolutely huge operation, now with about 2,000 employees. So a lot of you might be thinking, what is the payment solution that Payoneer actually offers, and what's the problems we solve? So we sit effectively as the cross-border bank in your business. So this is, so to break down the payment space a little bit, you'll normally have an acquirer. So this is the actual payment gateway. So we don't sit here, we're not the payment gateway, but we sit the level beneath. So we're the best solution for dropshippers in the world to actually receive in one currency, then convert it in another currency, and actually pay that out to whoever you need to pay that out to. So what we do is we set you up 12 different bank accounts around the world in a heap of different currencies. The idea being that, say you're using a Stripe, you can ask Stripe to pay you in, that you can offer the ability to pay for your clients to pay in the local currency on your website that's supported by Stripe. They can then pay, say, in Canadian dollars. You can then instruct Stripe to say, I want my Canadian dollars to be paid out into my Canadian dollar Payoneer account. And you can completely avoid a currency conversion being undertaken by Stripe, which is pretty costly. And that's the same as any other card acquirer. And that's typically the model in which we help dropshippers. Obviously, as well, you can use these accounts to receive directly from marketplaces. So anywhere you're actually selling, we sit as a solution to handle that international currency, avoid currency conversions, and then send your payments around the world to your suppliers. Some other notable names in the space, like TransferWise, or Wise they're now called, they're probably our biggest competitor, but they sit on the more consumer focused side, and we'll get into a bit more detail, but a number of other providers who do what we do, they don't actually support dropshipping in their T's and C's, so there can be quite a lot of problems with unforeseen suspensions and the like, but we'll come on to that. So why are payments so important to dropshippers? So theoretically, you want to be able to support the local currency of your customers. This opens the doors up for your customers to pay you and makes it a lot easier. As I said, the actual card acquirer will be responsible for this, but you want to be able to receive that currency in its own currency without the card acquirer taking their fee, which typically will be between 2 and 3%. You then want a lower FX margin. That would be 2 or 3%, as I said. We would lower ours to a 1.5% or less for you, and that's completely dependent on volume. So you've already got a 2% cost saving there that you can just put straight into your pocket, and that represents part of your margin, right? As well as this, the common things we see, the common problems we see with dropshippers in particular is cash flow. So when you're dropshipping, you need to be able to take payment and release payment very quickly to make sure your whole business cycle works effectively and well. And when I'm talking to larger dropshippers in particular, these are guys who might be doing hundreds of thousands a month. The common problem and the common bottleneck for them is actually getting their payments out to their suppliers around the world fast. Obviously, if you have faster cash flow, you have low shipping times, you can ship more items, you can have happier customers, and all of this means you can make more money. When talking to clients and partners who might be using a different solution, commonly, whether it's through payments being held and checked, whether it be through just accumulating a number of different payment sources and payment companies in your flow, it can be quite time consuming, and not everyone is as fast as Payoneer in the market. Actually delivering payments to speed is of pivotal importance, and if you're experiencing a bottleneck, then there, of course, we're here to help. As I said, common problems when kind of using other companies, one, the speed, two, the costs. Dropshipping in particular is seen as a little bit of a grey area by a lot of providers, which means that commonly the costs go up. Commonly there's less businesses that are there to help dropshippers in particular, and the ones that are there, sometimes they onboard dropshippers without the knowledge of actually dropshipping. It might be uncovered that they're dropshippers, and then they're suspended, blocked, and there are big issues with regards to payments and their accounts and the like. So this puts a lot of dropshippers in a situation where they're uncomfortable with what's going to happen in the future. They don't really know if they can rely on their payment provider, because there is this history of this happening. The only reason why this happens is because these other services, these other PSPs, in their T's and C's, they've not actually completely underlined the fact that they do support dropshipping. The issue here, if you don't support dropshipping, is if you find out, you kind of have to block those accounts to remain compliant with your banks and your network who support your business. For us, we've seen the opportunity within e-commerce. We're a completely e-commerce dedicated solution, unlike some others in the space, and we are dedicated towards helping e-commerce merchants, and that includes dropshippers. So in our T's and C's, it's explicit that we actually do support dropshippers, and this is a vertical we're happy to support. So with us, you can remain safe in the fact that you're not going to have suspensions because you're a dropshipper. That's something we're completely agreed on. That's not to say that there might be something else that comes into play that if there's a problem and it's a genuine problem, then that's a problem. But just for being a dropshipper, unlike a lot of others in the space, your payments are completely safe with us, and you can have reliable payments, and we're there to provide that for you. So as I said, dropshipping something that's not really understood by a lot of banks, and we are completely on hand to support that for you. And as I said, the common things you will receive with Payoneer are the account management. So anything you have questions over, which is again a differentiator from anyone else in the space, means that you have someone there to actually support your business and to help you grow into the future. If you have any queries as to what's happening with your payments, why this payment in particular is so slow, what's happening here, then we're more than happy to do our best to support you and to advise you in that way. Again, this is slightly different from other companies who might just be an interface on a website and don't actually have that personalized support, or you go through to their main customer service line, which at the best of times can be unhelpful. So these are the problems. try to solve, as I said, for dropshipping flow. Essentially, as I mentioned, you would connect us to your card acquirer or your PSP. You'd be able to receive in the same currency as the checkout, so completely bypass that FX rate. And then you can do a number of things. You can pay your suppliers cost effectively and time effectively, whether it be in the Far East or anywhere else around the world, using our bespoke FX rates. And as I said, that goes from 1.5% all the way down to 0.3%, depending on volume. Or you can send funds home, or you can spend funds on the card, which is a super attractive proposition to dropshippers. So what this card enables you to do is effectively receive cash back on all of your card spends. So we would give you monthly cash back, and this enables you to work with Google ads, Facebook ads, Amazon ads, and actually monetize this payment flow. Again, some credit card companies might not support dropshippers and don't support dropshippers. So this is something whereby we're explicitly offering it to the dropshipper market because we see huge potential with the large marketing spend. The good thing is for you guys, you can have 50 cards per currency and they're easily replaceable if you have any issues. If one of them's blocked, for example, you can just create another one. Really cost effective in the whole process for dropshippers is to create a network whereby we can handle all of your needed payment solutions after the actual checkout itself, meaning you can move your funds around cost effectively, time effectively, using a number of different methods to suit the need of your business. So this is a super complex and complete solution that, yeah, we're happy to dedicate towards dropshippers. Effectively, if you don't have the pain of payments and the time taken out for block payment suspensions, whatever it might be, delayed payments, having to chase invoices because you're not sure they've been paid, having to pay invoices but they've not been received. If you eradicate all of this pain from your business, it gives you more time to focus on sourcing new products, creating new products, marketing the new products, building websites, and effectively just scaling your dropshipping business. And what we want to do is alleviate the pain associated with payments for dropshippers because it is there and it is so obvious to us, and allow you to continue working on your business and continue growing that business. And we're there to support it, and we won't limit the amount that you can transact, and we won't have any of these issues that are so prevalent within the market. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, then feel free to let me know and get in touch. I'll be more than happy to assist.
So, Daniel, there's a question from Nihi. And Panelist is not available in Shopify Payment Gateway. How they can use Payoneer for their Shopify stores?
So Payoneer isn't the actual payment gateway. So Payoneer, the Shopify can effectively pay out to Payoneer, and you can integrate, say, Stripe into your Shopify store, which means that you can then pay out from that source. So there's a number of payment gateways which you can receive from into Payoneer. So if they can pay a local bank account in any of these locations, then they'll be able to pay us.
There's a question. Can Payoneer receive payment from other payment platforms?
Depends on the provider. As I said, Stripe and other payment gateways are fine. Sometimes some competing businesses can limit the amount that you can transact into different PSPs. So the most notable one is PayPal, which they effectively ban any payouts to any other PSPs because they want to undertake currency conversion themselves. I can see this question here on the Shopify payments to receive in the currency accepted the payment. So Shopify, you can receive in different currencies, but there sometimes are issues when receiving in the main currency and replacing the main bank account with a PSP. Again, that's something that the Shopify payments do to kind of protect the FX margin. But depending on what you have integrated into your Shopify store, then yeah, we can help facilitate that. If you put a different payment gateway in, then you can effectively receive in all of the different currencies. As I said, Shopify payments can be a little bit tricky with the home account. Cool.
Cool. So do you like to share with us more about Payoneer?
Yeah. So, anything in particular? I think I've summarised everything on our side. So yeah, more than happy to pass it on to the next attendee or the next panelist.
There is a question still in the chat. Not the Q&A, in the chat.
Yeah, so I can see Kobe's raised his hand.
So please send me as a host, please.
Yeah, I was
Cool.
just saying if you guys want to move forward, I'm ready. But I saw there were some more questions in the chat if you want to answer those.
Okay. I can see the question in the actual chat rather than the Q&A. Okay, cool. Sorry.
So is Payoneer compatible with Paystock and Flutterwave?
So off the top of my head, it's difficult to say with these two. But yeah, I can feedback on that, and yeah, it might be worth checking in Paystack and Flutterwave if you can differentiate the payment into different currencies, then you should be able to. But yeah, commonly we're able to accept these payments. It's just whether Paystack and Flutterwave can actually make the payment. But yeah, it's something I can look into and feedback on. But there's no restrictions on our side.
So I think, thank you for your presentation, Daniel.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, and we will welcome Kobe later.